welcome. It's yet another edition of on Julie's Audio Show, episode of Life Moments. We always talk inspiring, motivational stories here to inspire you, give you the strength to move on with life. And today we are powered by Timisha Hotel down here in Senior Quarters, Soroti City West, in a beautiful place. This is actually a fire camp where I am. But not only here, there are beautiful gardens for photo shoots, for those of you who would want to do photo shoots, and drinks at a cheaper price, accommodation, and also reception. My name is Juliet. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do it. Subscribe and click on that notification button. On the show today, I'm joined by a musician, an entrepreneur. He's also a chef. Can you imagine? So he's here to tell us his life story. He's here to tell us how his journey of music vis-a-vis his professional line, how he's managing his work, and how far he has gone in line with his journey of music. And yes, I don't want to introduce him much, but I want to give him a platform to introduce himself. And I love what he's putting on, by the way. Oh, this lemon green jacket also. Is it a jacket or a sweater?
It's kind of jumper, like that I can call it.
Otherwise, how are you?
Fine, Julie. How are you doing?
I'm good.
What's been your day?
Just there.
How's everything?
Everything.
I can see you're doing good. You're doing great.
You two are doing great.
Thanks so much.
For a musician in Teso to do great like you are, it's just hard sometimes to find such people. But otherwise, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. It's really a pleasure for me to be here, to be hosted here. It's also great.
Where did you get the name Root Beer from?
Well, thanks so much. Well, Root Beer is my stage name, but my biological name or my birth name, I don't know, whatever you call it.
Say birth name, maybe.
Birth name, I'm called David Elungat. Yeah, and I come from a Soroti sub-county within Sorotia. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Root Beer, how did you choose the name? Because beer is always, everyone knows it's beer, people drink. And then root, how is it connected?
Well, root beer, root beer is a drink. It's a drink of its own. It's called root beer. It's beer that's made out of roots of a tree called the Saasa albidam. And that tree, it's not here in Uganda, it's not even here in Africa, it's only found in America. And even in America, it's only found in North America.
What? So that defines Root Beer Saasa.
Root Beer Saasa, yeah. Root beer. And even that name, Root Beer, that drink initially, it was not called root beer, it was called root tea.
So you added it?
Root tea.
You added
but now that name root beer came in because the manufacturers of that drink, they failed to get a market because of that name root tea. They changed it to root beer because they were targeting at the group of miners, because you know there was a lot of mining there, so they were targeting at those people. So now when they changed from root tea to root beer, they got customers now because of that word only, beer. So it caught the attention of the people, and the drink was now going. So now the question is, why did I choose that name?
Yes, it was root beer.
Yeah.
Why did you choose?
So now,
how did it come?
that drink, if you drink it, if you take it, it functions a lot in your body. First of all, it relieves you from stress.
Yeah.
It relieves you from stress. That's why I chose that name. Now, the music that I'm going to be producing or making, once you listen to it, it's going to relieve you from stress. Yeah.
Wow. It's logical.
So that is it. Many people ask me, why did you choose that name? You drink beer a lot. But I always try to explain to them. Some understand, but some, they don't understand. But if you go deeper, or if you Google That's it. That's
You
the
can
reality.
understand. You went as far as getting a name far from Teso. Any other person would come in and say, Adaka Yari Chebore.
Exactly. I faced that challenge when I was just starting my music. And they were like, I think Root Beer is a drunkard. Cannot even sleep without taking beer or what. It took me time to explain to them, but some have understood. But I believe with time they are going to they are going to come to know the real meaning. And I used to tell them, I don't know how you're going to perceive it, whether it's the roots of the beer or the beer of the roots. Anyway, as long as you're enjoying the music, we are good to go. That is it.
So which schools did you go to?
Well, for the case of education, I think I never went far, if I can say. Because for my primary education, I think I only attended 2 schools in my village, because me, I grew up from the village.
In Asure?
Yeah, in Asure.
You're a village boy.
I'm a village boy.
And you don't look like one now.
Really?
Yeah, you
Thanks
still
so
don't
much.
look like one.
So I attended a primary school called the Adachar Primary School, because I come from Adachar village. I attended that school from P1 up to P6. Then I joined a nearby school again called Akolodon Primary School. Yeah, now for my P7. Then after that, I joined the Sunrise High School there in Ochapa.
Yes.
Sunrise High School for my senior 1 and senior 2. I left Sunrise High School. Then I went to Sajik Royal SS there in Serere Upper Shops.
Is it still there?
Wow, it's there. It has grown, it has changed. One day I went there, I was like, wow. We started here, the place was small, but now it's a very big school. Yeah, then now, so after senior 4, I came now to town here. I joined the Olila High School for my senior 5, and I was there for only 1 term. After there, I left there. I joined now Alliance for the 2nd term of senior 5. Yeah, now senior 5, then senior 6. Was now in Alliance.
Yeah.
So now there,
Yeah.
I lacked the money for joining the university. I know joining the university nowadays it's really very expensive.
Very expensive, yeah.
And you know, being a child or a person with one parent or of a mother, it's really very hard. And my mother, she's just a peasant, she's not working, so she could not raise that money. And I was not the only person she was educating.
So how
We were like
3 of you in a family?
Yeah, and we are 4, but 3 of us were at school.
Okay.
Because now by the time I was supposed to join university, our last born was also joining senior 1. Then the girl that follows, the boy that follows my back was also now joining senior 4. So it was really hard for her. So I just said, let me first leave them also. Then now, from there, I joined the tertiary institute called the Maganjo Institute of Career Education there in Kampala. After Kawempe, is where I pursued a certificate in catering and hotel management, and that certificate is the one that I'm using now for survival up to now.
Yeah. So you're not telling me you're a chef?
Of course. I did catering and hotel management, so I am a chef by profession.
Now, you lost your father at what age?
Well, actually, I can say I have never seen him.
From the time you grew up?
Yeah, I've never seen him. I only hear that he's an acholi. He's an acholi. My mother actually produced it. We were 2. I was the second born, there was a first born, but the firstborn died, and what I heard, the death of that firstborn even brought their divorce, because what I heard from the mother, that actually that boy was killed intentionally by our father. And that guy was hunting for me also, and she just escaped from Gulu and she came this way, and that's how I survived. And you know, I heard that he was a soldier, and you know, soldiers of that time, they were not even They were illiterate, I can say, because some of them were just robbed and they were forced to join the army. Yeah. So my mother brought me this way. She told me when I was 6 months.
So all this happened in where? In Acholi land?
Yeah, in Acholi land.
The killing of your brother.
Yes.
Must have been a hard time for her. So they brought you when you were 6 months.
6 months old. And I came now this way with my mother. Yeah.
So how was it growing up at that time? Your mother coming with you at that time. How did you grow up? Did you have the stress of maybe I'm missing my father?
Not really. No. Not
Do
really.
you not
because
regret?
I don't. Because when I grew up, now when my mother came from there, she went back home, their home, in our village, Adachardea.
Yes.
And she was welcomed.
The time your mother came with you at 6 months, you were brought in. And how did you get to know that your father was not there?
Well, it took me time to know whether that one is not my father or whether that one is my father. It took me time. But what made me not to come to know that that grandfather wasn't my father, because my mother was welcomed home by everyone. My grandfather, my grandmother, my aunties, my uncles, everyone in the clan, she was welcomed home well. So I grew up well knowing that my grandfather is my father, because I used to call him my father. Not until I grew up like 6 years, 7 years, 8 there, it's now when people started telling me that one is not your father. I was like, how come? Because when I call him daddy, he responds. He buys me what I want. He buys me clothes, buys me books, he buys me everything. When I'm sick, he takes me to the hospital. So I was like, how? But I couldn't even ask my mom by that point. Then again, after some time again, I was told the same. Then now I went and asked my mom that, is it true that this is a grandfather of mine, that is it true that he's not my father? And she didn't even tell me something.
She kept quiet.
She kept quiet. And I could not again continue asking her, because I know her always. When she's annoyed, she keeps quiet. Then again, sometime again, I was again told, you know, when you go and play with the children, these neighbors' children,
the neighborhood,
they tell you, that one's not your father. What one? That one's not your father. Now again, one day I was like, if I go and ask mom again,
she will keep quiet.
She will keep quiet, or she will just beat me.
Yes.
Now I went and asked now my grandmother, but is it true that my grandfather now, is it true that he's not my father? Then she was like, your mother is going to beat you if you repeat that. So I came to know these people don't want me to know that that one's not my father. Yeah, because now those children were like, if you think that one is not that one is your father, they would be now sleeping one bed with your mother. And I was like, yes, it could be true now, because these people don't share one bed.
Oh,
yes.
So the issue of sharing one bed now made you start thinking.
Yes.
Imagine
they even told me that if you think that one is your father, why is it that they don't share one bed? And you know, a child of 7 years, 8 years can reason
very well.
Yeah. That was like, it could be true.
So you went back to your mother to find out the truth now.
I couldn't even ask her. That thing just ended there. But now my mother, after being home, she got married to a nearby village again. And she got married again to a man that had a wife, and they had the 4 children. So now when I was also now taken there to stay with my mother, now those children started telling me that you should also go back to your father. Now you have come here, you want to inherit our land.
Issue of land now.
Issue of land. This one is not your father. Our father is not your father. Even that one you call your father, your grandfather, is not your father. Your father is far. Tell your mother to take you to where your father is. Your father is an Acholi, is in Igulu. And how did those children come to know that? My mother, to me, my mother could have told that stepfather of mine as a secret. You know, when you're in a bed with your wife, you can share some of the issues. Then now I think that stepfather of mine went and told now the other wife also. Then now that wife told now the children. Now those children told me.
Because of the land insecurity.
Yes. So I never liked that thing. It made me leave my mother from the other side. Then I went back home, and I stayed with my grandmother and my grandfather.
Did you regret that you never grew up with your biological father?
Not really. Not really.
You never regret? And don't you even wish to know his village where he comes from?
But right now, I don't. Actually, I don't. But I felt bad. I felt bad by that time. I felt bad. Even, I think that's the reason as to why I left mom. Then I went now back the other side. Then now, what championed everything is when one of my uncles also joined.
The issue of land.
The issue of land. That one also started now like, so you have come here, you want to inherit our land. You should tell your mother to take you to where your father is. Your land is now on the other side. We cannot accept to stay with the land. The Cholis, those people, they have bad heart. And I kept that thing in mind. And you know, always when you're a child and you are told something, maybe you've seen something bad happening, that thing will never get off your brain. So I still have that thing in my brain.
Do you have a feeling of at least maybe one day I can go to their village and see him or get to know him?
That thing happened after some time. Now when I was now in secondary level.
You thought of going there?
Yes, I remember when I was now in senior 3. So when I came back now from my mom's place and I went back home the other side, I stayed with my grandmother. I think from P3, P4, P5, P6. Yes. Then now I went back now to mommy's side. Now when I was now about 14 years now, 13, 14 there, I was now grown up.
Yes.
Because by that time she was also too sickly and I could go there to help her to work, just garden work like that. But still I had to come back this side. Because now I knew the other side is not where I belong. Even here, I'm here for Akila. My being here is just temporal.
Because of the grandmother and the grandfather?
Yes, only. But if those ones die, meaning I have no future again here.
How was your education? Going through all this, how did you manage to reach this level of education?
It was really very hard. Though, it was not all that expensive by then as now. Because now, by that time, you can even lack like a book, you can lack like a pen, like a pencil, but none of your uncle can give you. If it finds that this grandmother or my grandfather doesn't have money, you have to go to the mother. If you find that even your mom doesn't have money by that time, it's hard now for you on your side. It's hard on your side. But still, my mother had to struggle to provide me everything. One time, when I was now in P7, I remember, our teacher used to beat me so much because of a set. I lacked a set, just a set. And by then a set was, I think was 700 shillings.
Yes.
By then, a set. And I used to be beaten. One time I went back to the mother again. That mom, now, I want you to take me to my father.
You asked?
I asked her. I was crying, I was annoyed. I want to take me to my father because now, I can't manage this. Then she told me, I don't have money right now for buying for your set. But what I'm going to tell you is, I want you to look at me as your mother, as your father. Then she told me, I want you to tell me those things that you think you're lacking, that you think your father can provide you and I cannot provide. I told her, one, I need to study from senior 1 up to senior 6. Because I wanted to join police. That's the profession that I wanted initially.
Yes.
I loved it so much right from my childhood. So I told her like that, I want to study from P1 up to senior 6. Secondly, I want land. You have to get for me land. Then thirdly, I remember I told her, you cannot manage to marry for me, but my father would marry for me. She told me, I'm going to marry for you, I'm going to educate you, I'm going to get for your land.
It was a promise.
Yes, she told me. She told me, and she told me, stop crying. Tomorrow you will be at school with a new set. I remember that.
Did she do it?
She did it. That very evening she bought for me a set. I don't know where she got her money from, but she managed to get for me a set, and I went to school the next morning.
Do you know your father's name?
I don't know actually. I've never even bothered asking her.
Don't you want to know?
But as per now, I think I don't need to know, because if I'm to ask her again, I'll remind her of the past.
As a grown-up son, you would have asked. You would have wished to ask.
Maybe I will have time.
You still have the bitterness in you.
Exactly, that is it.
And you don't wish to know who he is, to know his name.
If I wanted, I would have asked her.
You don't want to.
I was almost to do that when I was now in a senior city, because my mother almost failed to pay my tuition. Then that thing came to my mind that I think this is now the right time for you to handle your mother well. That take me to my father. But I remember the promises she made. I could not again disappoint her.
I know.
And I kept quiet.
Okay, from there.
So I joined senior one. Well, she paid because we had the cows, we had the goats, we had those things. We had those things. Personal, I also had my goats, had my what?
How did you get that at a young age?
Well, my grandmother one time gave me one hen like this.
You reared that hen. You worked hard to keep it.
I bought sheep. I bought goats. Now when I joined senior one, I had no problem now.
Everything
it was easy. Senior one, senior two. Now senior three, the issue started. You know, senior three, they say to her, failed work, guess what? She could not again raise that money. The other goats now were over. You see that?
So how did you manage to complete let's look at your certificate level and now?
That's why when I was beginning, I told you the schools I went to, they were not all that big
expensive.
Big schools. Big schools. And I used to be a day scholar. Just renting, rent out. Now even food, you are the one to cook. Of course, you know, renting, from home you come with your flour, you come with your mukeke, you come with what? You'll be just buying now men and cabbage, and you know that student life.
I know.
From senior 1 up to senior 6.
And then tertiary level.
Tertiary level, still, first of all, I remained home again for 1 year. That was 2011. I remained home to raise again some capital.
Yes.
Actually, to me, I was not even going to manage, because only one semester like this, there was no man again. But I had a friend who was there one time, and he had that connection there. So I got a sponsor now. I talked to the big guys at school, the principal and and I also got a sponsor. That sponsor helped me. Otherwise, I would have not completed.
And now let's talk about music. Is it the sad story the sad lifestyle that inspired you to do music?
Yeah, it inspired me. Well, music, actually, when I was still a little boy, I used to love music so much. But I don't want to lie that maybe I started from church. No, I think I only sang in that choir. I think only one day, only one day, and I was even forced just to back up the other guys, because me, I was creative. I was creative.
You were forced to
back up the other guys. You know, and I never wanted, not because maybe I never wanted to sing in church or what. Because what could make me feel shy is that the other children, they are very smart.
And you were lousy.
Yes, you're lousy. Even going to church, you're wearing the uniform again.
Oh.
Moreover, barefooted.
Oh.
You see that? So I never wanted, because I was not smart. Remember, I started composing my songs when I was 13 years.
Writing your own?
My personal songs. Because I used to sing so much. I used to play this akogo when I was young. I used to play this ababaire when I was at school. But even there, I think I only played twice as serious.
Why?
When it comes to competitions, going out to the other school for competitions.
No socks, no shoes.
Don't talk about socks. Talk about sandals. I never had.
And you couldn't go?
I was only bought sandals when I was now in P6 for Xmas.
That was your first sandal?
Yes, I remember. They were green in color. When I was now in P6 for Christmas. You see that? So, why I started composing my songs when I was 13 years, there is some boy in our village who told me, before you love music, why do you love singing people, miming people's songs? Why don't you also compose yours? So that when you grow, when you get money, you will now start producing your songs. That thing touched me. I was like, I think this is a very good message. So I started now composing my songs, and I loved reggae so much because I used to listen to Emma Eratu's music.
Yes.
By then, it inspired me a lot. That's why I started composing my reggae songs. But again, that my mother never wanted it.
She did not support you.
No, because for them, by then people believed these musicians, these artists here, they are spoiled people. And they even told me that if you want to be a musician, you're going to die of AIDS, because musicians, for them, they love women. They don't stay longer. You die of AIDS because now every woman wants you.
Yeah.
So again, that thing demoralized me a little bit, but it so happened that one person died in our village.
Died of AIDS.
Of AIDS. For me, I was like, so even the people who are not musicians that die of AIDS, let me now go. Yeah, good enough. We are many. We are many. So I started now composing myself, but my mother never wanted, because I remember she even came and grabbed my book that had composed 5 songs, and that book was burnt. She never wanted it. Now when I joined senior 1, senior 2, again I started that thing of composing songs, because now where I joined my first secondary school at Sunrise High School, MDD that was booming really.
Was at the peak?
Yeah. I loved it. So that thing resurrected my talent. It had died, but it just resurrected my talent. So now, that very senior 2, I started composing now my songs afresh. The other very ones that I had written when I was in primary, I re-edited them and I modernized them now.
When was your first production?
I started music production now, recording. That was in 2018. I would have released the songs even before that time, but I never had money. I was like, I'm now at school, and I can't again get this tuition to inject in the music industry. It's going to affect my my studies, and I knew studies would be my my future.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I had to endure. I had to keep those songs there inside the house with me. Then I said, let me first study. After that, I will get a job. If I get a job, now that money is the one I'm going to inject into the industry, music production, and that's what I did.
But what do you make of today's music here in Teso? Music industry?
Like production or
production-wise?
Or generally?
Let's start with production-wise. The prices, the costs, does it favor?
The costs. To me, money always is not enough to everyone. And these studios, they charge different amounts of money. You can find that this one is charging this amount, this one is charging the other amount, depending on the quality of work. So to me, yes, we might say it's expensive to us artists, but now the producers, they see that money as very little money as compared to the other Kampala studios, because the other ones, they pay a lot of money, but for us we don't pay all that much money.
So you were doing music because you wanted to do music, or you wanted to do music because of finances? Is it because you want a coupon, or just doing music for leisure?
There is nothing like doing music for leisure. I joined the music because I know music is a business. Music is a business. There is nothing like leisure. You're injecting money there for audios, for videos, for promotion, for what, and you're saying leisure. No. That is business. That's one thing that people have failed to know. But it's business.
But Teso musicians in the music industry, there are very many who have stayed in the music industry for a long time, but they are still the same.
Yeah, it's true. They are still the same. Some, even by that time when they were doing music, they were somehow, but now they have gone down completely.
Yes.
I know. Yeah,
you can't recognize someone on the street.
You see, what music needs. What music needs. Music is a business that is slippery. Music, it needs you to have another source of income, so that if it fails, still you'll back up with this money that you're getting from this side. And then there's a lot of competition now. There's a lot of competition now. I think that's the reason as to why those people have failed to get market.
Which level do you see our music now?
Well, actually, right now, our music is doing well. To me, it's doing well. You cannot compare it to the old music.
Days.
Yeah, like maybe some 15 years ago. Yes.
It is improving.
It has improved, and it's improving every day.
They say most of you musicians play music that is obscene. What do you make of different songs that you've listened to? There are so many songs that sometimes even presenters don't play on radio.
They don't play, why?
Because of the lyrics.
How are the lyrics?
Yes, the lyrics that they claim is abusive, the lyrics that they claim is against someone, is against this one. What do you think?
You see, music is very tricky and very slippery. Some people start abusing the other one. You abuse this one, because you failed. And they think by me now, I can call myself an upcoming artist. By me abusing a legend in the music, that I'm selling now my name. But that is, yes, you might be selling your name, but not in a diplomatic way. You're selling your name in a bad way now. If you talk about abusing this one, abusing the other one, abusing the other one, no, that's not good. That is not music. You have just come to quarrel, not to entertain people.
I've had sad stories, beautiful moments with you. I want you to look at the camera and give a piece of advice to any other person who will be watching, your children tomorrow, your great-grandchildren. Just give your motivational, inspirational advice.
Well, first of all, I want to thank all the viewers once more, and assure them that music is what actually consoles us. So for those ones now who are abusing people, I think you also know now where to put those ones. You know the brackets you're going to put those ones. Because if the legends, we call legends in Teso, or the ones we call legends in Uganda or outside Uganda, also started that way by abusing the fellow artists, they would have not reached up to the level we got them when they were in. And some of them are still there up to now. So I think that's what I can tell the fellow artists. Let's try to be a bit critical when we are composing songs. And yeah, because me, what I can tell you, Juliet, is that I have never come across a bad song, and I have never come across a good song. So meaning there is nobody artist, there is no good artist. They are all the same. They are all good. They are all good. But now you have to know the way how you're bringing your songs. You, the artist, you have to know the way how you're bringing your songs. Yes, there are trending topics in the music industry. There are trending topics in the music industry. And now I think if you see that Root Beer picks the trending topics, and for you have failed to pick the trending topics, now Root Beer's music is trending. Yours is not trending. You start abusing me. Because you know in music there are trending topics. Like first of all, one, gospel. Gospel trends. You cannot tell me that if you release a gospel song it will not hit. No. It
Definitely.
will hit. As long as you try to be modern a little bit, you're good to go. Secondly, talk about alcohol. Those are the trending songs we have. There is no song that talks about alcohol that's never played in the bars. Then talk about love. And love is very wide.
Yeah.
Love is very wide. So you have to be critical when you're picking even your points. Even if it's love, you have to be very critical. So there are very many. But now, yeah, that's what I can say. You have to be very critical. And I really want to thank those legends. I can call them the legends. Those of Ferratu, those of Otinga. Those are the people that I used to listen to their music by then. When it comes to home here.
You call those one legends?
Those are my legends. I still love them so much. Home here, they are my legends.